Hey, welcome back to another music talk. It's been like almost 3 weeks since I released a music talk, and we're going to talk about Dana Dawson, as you can see in the title below. Again, I want to say sorry for not really being posting, and just I was having some technical difficulties. All the videos that I get for my music talk, I get them from TikTok, and some of the music videos I wasn't able to put up because it wasn't YouTube approved. So hopefully, everything will work out for the best with this particular video. But anyway, like I said, we're gonna be talking about Miss Dana Dawson, who was born August 7th, 1974. She started her career in 1981 as an actor. She debuted at the age of 7 in a national tour of Annie. She was the understudy of a character, Mimi, in the national tour of Rent in 2000 and joined the Broadway cast in 2001. Dana Dawson, I became a fan of hers, I want to say maybe like over a decade ago when I was like a teenager. I was like 16, 17, 18, I think it was. And I was on YouTube. I was watching some type of artist. I was watching some type of video. I know I was watching some video of someone. I can't remember exactly. And I saw this woman named Dana Dawson, and I was like, who is she? And it was like Three is Family. Like Three is Family. So I clicked on it because I was curious and I love music, and I was like, okay. Starts off had that little gospel feel to it. Love the song. As soon as I heard as soon as the beat dropped, it had that it sounded like it was like a band. Like it had that like you could hear like a drum set and a piano, And I was like, we've been working for so long now, and now my baby is here. I was like, who is she? And she kind of resembled Aaliyah. So, I went on my little search and did my research, and then I was heartbroken because, sadly, she passed away August 10th, 2010. And like I said, her birthday is August 7th, so she literally turned 36, and then like 3 days later, she passed away, which is crazy. So I was just like, I was very like what the hell? And then come to find out, she only released 2 albums. Her first album was released back in like her first single was released in 1989 called Ready to Follow You. Sorry guys. And then that single kind of like morphed into into a big thing. But the crazy thing about it was she wasn't like a global success. She was big really, really big overseas. Like people in France, people in Europe, people in Europe is basically the UK, I'm pretty sure. They knew of her. The people in America didn't really know of her unless you were traveling a lot. And unless you knew, if you were a lover of music or whatever, and then you might knew of her music, of that time. So she released her first album, Dana Dawson, Paris and New York and Me. That was released in the early '90s, and that was when she was literally when she was between the ages of 14 and 16. And she promoted it all over Europe and France and stuff like that, and it was just around that time for her. I can tell it was a moment in time for her. It was a pretty, I guess you could say, pretty happy time for her. I'm surprised that it's she's been gone for pretty much since 2010, so that's over a decade, and I'm shocked that no one's ever done any documentaries on her life. And I was like, she may have not been a global superstar, but she was a phenomenon, and she did have hits, and it's crazy to me to think she, to this day, no one referenced her. Of course, everybody referenced Whitney, Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Boyz II Men, but like, I mean, and so many other great, phenomenal artists that I love to listen to on a daily. But like, no one ever talks about her. So I was like, this is gonna be my opportunity to give her her flowers, even though she is in heaven and, you know, being an angel that she once was on this earth. You know, a beautiful. She was gorgeous. Like, had a nice, slender figure. And what makes it even more sad is that she got married in 2007 to the love of her life, and then sadly the love of her life had to watch her demise in less than like 3 years, I think it was, you know. So that's just sad in general. But overall, it's like, yeah, 2007, you know, yeah. So but around that time, I guess she was gearing up to kind of like get herself back into the limelight, into the, you know, into the public, and she was starting to do. Because I remember that I recently watched an interview, and it's obviously it's an old interview. It was like 2007, 2008, and she was on. And she did an interview from home in New York, and believe it or not, she's actually from New York. She's from Jamaica, Queens. Jamaica, Queens. Woohoo! Another New Yorker in the house, and she was doing an interview. The people were in Paris or France, I think it was, and she was just talking about, like, she was going to start doing some work on some music and stuff like that, or probably acting, I believe. And I think she probably did do a couple of acting gigs before she passed away, but that was just really tragic. And then but overall, I feel like her music career, even though it wasn't like a global success, she definitely did have a nice little successful career overseas. And I would prefer, if I have to say this, I think it's better to have a lot more success overseas, because like sometimes in America, like there's artists who are like tremendously humongous and have so much talent, and sometimes I feel like America, they don't really give certain artists props unless you have like a sustainable, like global phenomenon of a career, or like several successful singles, I don't know. I just feel like, like there's artists, there's like underrated artists. I consider myself underrated, and I feel like I would probably find more success overseas, just like how Dawson did back in the day. And I think that would be, that would be a phenomenon, honestly. But and also I've been recently listening to her second album, Black Butterfly, which I found to be, there's a few songs in that album that I love. The song is Three is Family, which I love. Show Me, which that song is so spiritual and just so powerful. The lyrics is just very, very it's very to your heart, to your core. And then there's another one called Baby Do Right By Me. Baby do right by me. Oh, think what you're gonna do. But it's very catchy. I feel like that particular album, it definitely it expressed how she was. Because mind you, she was in her 20s when she released that album. She was in the beginning of her 20s. So, think back to when you was in your early 20s, and life was just lifing for you. You were trying to find love, and you were trying to find all the answers, and just trying to just make a successful career out of something, so you can be successful in life. And so I literally can say, like, I have like similarities, like doing my first album in my mid 20s, and then just and then going through the motions. So I'll have to say, like, that particular album is just like it's one of her best. I mean, granted, it's her last album, and then but this woman's career, I feel like it would have had spawned several decades if she would have been able to live just a little bit longer. Granted, she would have been in her 50s. She would have been in her 50s by this point in time if she would have lived a little bit longer. And I'm pretty sure she probably would have been looking gorgeous. And, you know, she was 36, and you know, and she was 36, you know, and I mean, granted, she was sick around that time, but still, you know, what a wonderful spirit she probably was, you know. But anyway, as you guys know, we're gonna let you guys listen to some songs, and yeah. So I thank you for watching my music talk, and I will see you guys very soon. And enjoy the 2 videos of Dana Dawson. Okay, bye. See you guys soon, and happy Juneteenth. Bye.
Just where I am. Whoa, whoa. Say you will be the one who dances up to me, the one who takes me to the sky, way up high. Show a growing girl a romantic world. Say you will be the one who dances close to me, the one who takes me to the sky, way up high. Show a growing girl a romantic world. I can't lie, I would not miss opening night. You're just the best, you're just the best. On your guitar, baby. One is two, but 2 is me and you. 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 is family. I believe in you, and your love is true. Finally complete, 3 is family. Our hearts beating all together, the tears are running down my face. Got this moment, will last forever, and everything falls into place. In this crazy world, I know there'll be plenty mountains to climb, but the 3 of us together will keep me strong for the rest of my life. 1 is 2, but 2 is me and you. 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 is 2, but 2 is me and you.